Or wait,
Yay.
nope. Now they're rare. Is it working okay? It's working alright. Let me pull up my microphone since I will definitely keep coughing. No titles, no music this week. Know what you've been playing. Yeah. Okay, are you guys ready to kick this thing off?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Let's get rid of the pre-show stuff. Shortest pre-show ever. Excuse me. Alright, starting in. Let me bring up the show notes. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Knobs.
What's up?
And Moonpier.
Bonjour.
This is a special episode this week. I am out of town attending my brother's wedding. So happy nuptials to him in the future. And we're going to do a mailbag episode. I don't know if we've actually done one of these before.
I think we did it once.
Okay.
Yeah, one or two I think you've done in 10 years.
Okay. Well, this is our our much loved mailbag episodes that I can't remember. So we have
Usually food.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to devolve into, is basically what you guys eat lately. We have a whole ton of questions here, so let's just get started with me closing out the show notes by accident instead of clicking on the tab. First question here is from T-Bomb Rocks. Asks, what's your favorite video game collectible you've ever purchased or received? Look at the shelf behind me here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, where are my shelves
I
full
like
of stuff?
my plush cacodemon I have up there.
Oh, wait, like real life item or in-game item?
Oh, I think
in-game
he's asking
items
I think he's asking real life.
Yeah, in-game there's only one answer to in-game, and that's agility orbs every
Yeah,
single time.
Naturally.
You know.
Oh, my loot crate.
Oh, yeah, from...
Borderlands,
Borderlands,
right?
yeah, that's a cool one.
And the med kit right below it isn't really all that bad either.
Medkit's cool. That's one you almost didn't think someone was going to make something out of.
I didn't think it'd look as bright as it did. I wish it just had the med kit cross on it instead of the Left 4 Dead hand on it, but...
I've probably got two, and I think both were actually given to me by my good friend Stephen in England. It's the blind boxes before they became as hugely popular as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
There was one for, I think it wasn't Twilight Princess, but it was one of the cartoony Zelda games. I think it might have been
Wind Waker?
Yes, and they had blind boxes for that and Disgaea 2.
Oh, nice.
And he just went out and got me the full set of figures for both Zelda and Disgaea. So you can't actually see it because they're so small, but they are actually on that shelf over there. But they're like little mini, like 2-inch figures or something, and done really well in the art style. And the Disgaea ones, like Lahal, just looks like a badass in it.
Yeah, this guy has a cool art style. That's a cool one.
I kind of like my pylon I have at work.
Oh yeah, from
USB pylon. Yeah.
From StarCraft.
One of the collector's editions. It was like a USB pylon, is it?
No, it's a little pylon USB hub.
Oh yeah, it's a hub. Yeah.
That glows. I got off to one side of my desk.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what collector's edition of like a specific game I like the most.
I like Fallout 4s, just because that is the most awesome tchotchke for people who are fans of that game.
Also, it's
I don't know.
Probably the biggest one I have.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Wings of Liberty. That
Yeah.
that USB drive that lights up. That's just like his dog tag.
All the Blizzard ones ever since. I think the first one I bought from theirs is Diablo 2. Ever since then, they've all been really good. I think the one that I have that I've never actually seen anyone else have is I have a Japanese copy of Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 for PS1. It has like this water motif. Nubs is digging something out here. I've never seen anyone else
couldn't
have it.
find
It's
it.
pretty cool. What'd you pull out there, Knobs?
I couldn't find it.
Oh, what were you looking for? The Wings of Liberty?
Yeah, I think it might be up there. I don't know. The Death Mask from Darksiders
Darksiders
2.
2.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the Gears of War Collector's Edition that had the big cog in it.
Yeah, I had that one for a bit. I had to give it away when I moved. But I liked that. It was heavy.
Yeah, it was literally a piece of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest problem is I don't really have any of mine anymore. I got rid of pretty much all of mine when I moved.
Yeah. That's all I can think of, really. Anything else is just sort of like a steelbook or a larger box or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The full size action figure that came with Wolfenstein was pretty good too.
Yeah. There's a Persona game that comes with a blow up, one of those punching dolls, like one of those ones that flops back and forth.
Oh, wow.
That one's pretty cool. Jimbo Jangles asks a question here. My question to you guys this week, aside from consoles and PCs, what is the most expensive video game item you own? I guess this is sort of similar. I'm talking collector's editions, toys, statues. What's that one item you own where price didn't matter? Or price mattered, but you bought it anyway because it was just awesome?
Fallout 4 Pip-Boy Edition.
How much was that? I don't remember.
In England, I think it was I think it might have been £300 in England, which at the time, when the pound was strong, was like $600.
Yeah.
And funny thing is, I didn't actually get it for myself. I bought it for my wife, who has all of the collector's editions, but didn't get that one.
Oh. I gotta turn on my fan here. What's my most expensive one? Most of them are all kind of around $100. I'm sort of loath to spend more than $100 on a game. Beyond that, they only have unlike the Wolfenstein one, they come with, a 3-inch tall little statue that's made out of plastic with sharp edges on it, but that's about it.
Yeah, which is great for a dad like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably around $100 is the pretty much going rate. But I mean, the Gears Collector Edition, I think it was like $250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was that $160? I think it came with like all the other tchotchkes and stuff.
Yeah, because I think the Gears one had a bigger one that had a giant Marcus statue, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, that should be... There he is.
Oh, yeah,
There's Marcus next to the sombrero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nob's got the 250 edition for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that. I don't know. I'd probably say the most expensive thing I probably spent on video games was the. Oh, make sure get this that way. Close enough. Whatever.
Oh no. Yeah.
would probably be the Elite controller because I bought an entire console to get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you did.
I just remembered I have. If you're watching the video, this thing right here is the Fez Collector's Edition. I think that was $200.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with a cool USB stick that is in the shape of some of the Tetraminos that are in the game. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I also think I have the vinyl for it, but that's sort of in this pile of records here, so I don't know.
What, or just getting all of StarCraft 2, that got pretty pricey. That's $300.
Yeah. I feel like when you look at Blizzard Collector's Editions, because I own all of them for World of Warcraft, like all the StarCraft ones, all the Diablo ones, like I feel like those are more often than not really worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I even think the Diablo one that I bought, I don't even know if I really played that on PC at all.
Yeah, because you get like a soundtrack and a Blu-ray, and you get some stuff for the, you get some stuff in Hearthstone and WoW and, Heroes of the Storm.
You got Diablo with the Soul Stone stuck in his forehead.
Yeah,
USB.
You get a banner for Diablo. You get all this cool stuff. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I resisted buying the Destiny 2 Collector's Edition because it came with like a duffel bag and like a thing, like a one of those little small solar panels that you plug your phone into, and I was like, I don't I don't even understand why I'm getting this, but I
because it's
certainly don't
associated
need it.
with the light. It's all about the light.
I mean, I guess, but like, I'm willing to drop some money on Destiny. Well, I was until Destiny 2 came out, but I think you really have to make it make sense if you're gonna put stuff in there, like the Fallout 4 Collector's Edition. You wear a Pip-Boy. You're not gonna do it, but that's pretty cool. I'll spend the money on that.
Oh, I don't know, man. Those things are all over Comic-Con now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
Everyone
cosplay.
I went to, everybody had him for cosplay. Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Oh man, what was I gonna say now? No, lost it.
All right, moving on to our third question here from Andrew D. When you get a new game and there's a sticker on it, do you attempt to remove the sticker or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's also my knee-jerk was like, yeah. I've ruined some game covers of mine thanks to this, especially the clear circle adhesive Nintendo uses on their special edition boxes.
Oh.
A friend of mine leaves them on, but I always get this annoying thought that the longer I wait to remove it, the worse it'll be up if I eventually do decide to remove it. So I make the attempt and mess up my box almost immediately. Any tips for removing these annoying things? Thanks and keep up the great work. I remove those. I don't care if it's going to ruin it. They have to come off.
Yep. I even do it on like the explicit tags on the manga I have. Those it cannot be there. It drives me nuts.
Like I still see people that have like the plastic on their TVs. That stuff's got to come off, guys. Laptops, tablets, TVs, like it's only there for shipping. Pull it off. Drives me crazy because like after a while it just starts like peeling up and off of this stuff and it looks terrible.
There was like one of my neighbors still has it on his refrigerator, so it still has like that green film all over it. I'm like,
wow.
you're
20
killing
years
me,
old
dude.
now.
So here's funny: it's like the clear one that was on my washing machine. I didn't even know it was there until it started peeling off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the exact same as you guys. It's like if there's a sticker on it, it's coming off immediately. The one bright side is I buy very few physical games anymore, so I don't have to worry about stickers anymore.
I tell you what, man, I have mastered the art of peeling off the bone, though. Like that
CDs.
That CDs and that is just get right it and it just comes off in one fell swoop.
Just get that little like tick, 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 tick. Yeah. I think my recommendation for Andrew here, if you have a case that has, especially Nintendo with their stupid stickers and the plastic cases like that, keep an eye on GameStop for their used sales. Sometimes they'll sell like a shovelware game for $1 or $2. You can just move all the stuff from one case to another, and then you're good. You don't need to. Yep. The case doesn't matter. It's not like PS2 games where it's like, okay, I got to have all my cases have the memory card slot in them. None of that really counts anymore.
I mean, that or if you're willing to be patient, pull all the paper stuff off, get some goo gone, let it soak overnight, and then it just wipes right off.
Yep. Yeah, Goo Gone helps a ton of that stuff. The only bad part about some of that stuff is when it happens to like Super NES, NES, Genesis games where they put a sticker like right over the back panel, and it's like, well now
cardboard boxes as well.
Yeah, it's like now I can't take this off without ripping off a bunch of the cardboard, dude.
It was the same with Game Boy games before the Advance.
Yeah.
Oh, not the Advance, the SP.
That's why I've given up on dust covers. Those are gone. Like the cardboard slips. No, that's gone. I don't want to deal with that at all.
Yeah. Ghost Underground writes and asks, have you ever heard the idea that in order to experience the real game, you have to play on the hardest difficulty? People have claimed that there's no point in playing The Witcher 3 unless you play Death March very hard. In my opinion, this is just another bit of gaming elitism. What do you think? Are there any games you think that really do become better at harder difficulties? With story-based games, I think difficulty shouldn't matter. Well, let's not forget where this started. We can thank the Halo series for, normal difficulty isn't the real way to play it. It's the one up, and then the game says, like, the recommended way to play. And that was really like the first nail in this. I think Ghost Underground is right.
It's something I couldn't hate even more with that series.
I think Ghost Underground is right. It is a little bit of elitism, where it's like, look, I think if you want to play Witcher 3 on very hard and that's the way you find it the most fun, Cool. That sounds like a nightmare to me. Like, I'll play on very easy and just be a superhero.
Mm-hmm. Like,
don't have the time.
Yeah. Well, also, I don't want to fight against, like, I'm level 3 and I stumbled into a bandit camp and they're all level 7 and I got into a bad save file where, like, I have to spend 3 hours trying to get the perfect fight to get out of this bandit camp. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm not... he is 100% right. It is pure base elitism. Oh, yeah, I'm so much better than you that I play things on the hard difficulty.
Yeah.
Whereas, for me, like, I play things on the hardest difficulty. It's true. I do it because I love the sweet chivos, and also I actually kind of like the challenge of it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I played a absolute ton of Mass Effect Andromeda. Haven't finished it yet, unfortunately, but one of the most like enthralling parts about that game for me was how hard I found the combat at the start of the game compared to where I got up to. Because by the time I got up to where I was doing a lot better in combat. I was developing the actual sense of what to do in combat very quickly, purely because I'm playing it on Insanity. I am playing it on the hardest difficulty because I want to evolve that way. Now, games like Call of Duty, where the hardest difficulty is literally, if you take cover, you will get 6 grenades thrown at you.
That someone shoots your pinky and you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, like, Knobs and I, our famous example of this is Ninja Gaiden Black. But part of the reason why I don't think Ninja Gaiden Black's, quote unquote true game was the hardest difficulty, but that game was teaching you throughout subsequent playthroughs on harder difficulties on how to succeed and sort of punishing you for not sticking to the lessons you've learned.
Right.
And you got rewarded for playing on that difficulty because you sort of mastered it. And I know a lot of first-person shooters are like that too, when they, unlike Call of Duty, where they balance it correctly. And I think that's part of the reward of the Halo series, is sort of like you've figured out the sandbox and you can sort of get through that. But I don't think there's ever really been a game that is that necessary to play on the hardest difficulty, because that's the quote-unquote true game. I really don't. At least I can't think of it.
Unless they do that horrible thing where they're hiding an ending behind the hardest difficulty, which is that's a D move.
Hello, Halo.
Well, hello, Cuphead, as a recent example. You want to play on simple? Oh, wow. Well, hope you enjoy half of the game. That sort of stuff is sort of like, well...
Yeah.
Come on, man. Not everyone has the same skill set to play these games, so...
I mean, to be honest, I think it's also a relevant of older games. Older games were like thumb-blisteringly hard, quite literally in some cases. And these days, as grown-ups, well, quote-unquote grown-ups, we have more expendable income to spend on the hobbies, whereas when you were a kid, if you beat a game and you knew you weren't getting another game for 6 months because that's when Christmas was, it's like, oh, I'll play it again, but I'll play it on the harder difficulty and see what it's like. It's kind of a layover from that. I mean, eventually we'll get to the point where it just...
Well, it's really a layover from arcade games trying to steal your money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully a lot more games seem to be doing away with that, where it's like, you might miss out on trophies or achievements if you don't play it on the hardest, and that's fine, but, you want to play it on the very easiest, or a lot of games, a lot of RPGs, like Pillars of Eternity has like a story mode, where it's basically all the combat is really trivial, and you're really just there to experience the story and get, an Obsidian story and get all the choices. And you don't get a bad ending just because you played it on the easiest. I think that's a much better trend nowadays.
Yeah, like the robot game. I can't remember which one it is. The one that came out this year. You two guys love it. Really, really bad thing that happens at the end of the game when you beat it.
The robot game?
Androids.
Can we have more details?
The interface is you altering chipsets.
Oh, Nier Automata.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, jeez, yeah. Yeah, Nier Automata is a really great example, because if you want to turn it into a platinum game, you can play it on the harder difficulties, or you can be like me and play on the easiest and turn on the auto fighting and just experience the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really great from like a story standpoint, but from also an accessibility standpoint too.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I thought you were talking about like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and I was just like, that's not out yet, dude. Androids, like I know there's a new one, but I don't know, Android 21 or whatever that lady's name is, but I
Oh
don't know.
wow.
All right, moving on. T-Bomb Rocks asks, what's your favorite IP of the current console generation?
Wolf.
Shockingly, Prey, maybe?
Yeah. But
we're never gonna see another Prey.
I know.
My biggest question is, do either of the two examples we've just given count? Because Wolf has been around for such a long time, and Prey is technically a reboot of an existing one.
He didn't say new IP, though. He just said favorite IP.
True.
Borderlands.
Current consoles, though.
He got the
Handsome Collection is a remake.
The pre-sequel.
Yeah. Although that's true. That's really when most of us played the pre-sequel.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Shadow of War, maybe?
Oh,
yeah, the Middle-earth games, yeah.
Middle-earth games, those are good.
Both of them showed up on this generation. Yeah.
Titanfall.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a great choice. I heard that's getting a crazy patch, too.
Probably,
yep.
Yeah. Destiny for me, maybe? Even though, maybe not now.
Oh. Well, I mean, I could always go Battleborn, but no one wants to play that game.
Yeah.
I still have it sealed. I really should install that at some point.
Yeah, but you guys can go and play a rat game.
What else?
Speaking of good IPs from this generation.
I would say Nier, but I don't...
Does it count?
I'd Prey over that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's Prey for me. All the others I've mentioned I love, but it's Prey for me.
I don't know, man. I think how they resurrected Wolfenstein was just mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty special.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
You could probably
say... Same thing with Doom, man.
Yeah.
They did an unbelievable job with Doom.
I think for me, I would value Wolf over Doom, just because Wolfenstein has managed to come out with 3 really good games this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Which is incredible.
Really got to get back on that one.
Yeah. Ghost Underground asks, favorite enemy type, not a boss. He has 3 questions here, and we'll take them one by one. Favorite enemy type that's not a boss. I don't
know how to answer that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my immediate answer is kind of both a joke answer and an ancient answer, and that's the boomer from Left 4 Dead. Because you can see them coming a mile off, and it's really easy to avoid them. But also, if you happen to be playing as them, they're not your enemy. And if you get a good boomer can be the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just say all the special infected from
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2? Like, I'm trying to think of any other enemies that are really interesting. A lot of times...
But how special would those enemy types be if they weren't player controlled?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Can we say the enemies from Prey, the mimics especially?
Mimics are a good enemy.
Yeah, because never in my personal experience has the first enemy you come across in a game being just as terrifying at the end of the game when you're running through a room and all of a sudden one of them transforms and jumps on your face.
Well, my favorite thing, and my wife was making fun of me when I was playing Prey because she was watching. I walked into a room and I stopped because something looked different. Like, you go through some of those rooms pretty often, especially there's like that one meeting room that you go through a couple of times, and like one time there was a chair that was knocked over, and I just stopped and I'm like, I'm gonna look at this thing for a minute, because I don't think I knocked it over when I came back through here. But if it's going to flicker a little bit, then I know it's going to be a mimic. I didn't have the scope upgrade yet. And my wife is like, are you just going to walk through this meeting room? Or like, what are you doing? I was like, no, man. That chair is a bad guy. I know that sounds crazy, but And I walked over to it, and it was totally a mimic.
Oh yeah.
But some of my favorite ones in that were you would turn the corner and you would run over something that that was just a single item in there, and then you would turn around, you run back, and all of a sudden there were two of them. You're like, wait a minute.
Wait, why are there 2 shells here, or two ammo packs here?
Right, like why are there 2 pistols on the ground, and why didn't I pick that up that first time?
Yeah.
What's going on? And I'll go check it out.
Yeah, I feel
My
like...
favorite were the ones that were the turrets. The turret right next to a turret. You're like, oh no.
Wait, which one is... Oh, crap. I feel like that's a really good choice because... And I think Moon brings up a great point that mimics really are the first thing you run into, and they never... You know, if you think of, like, survival horror games, eventually the zombies aren't a threat because you have a shotgun or something, or you have a flamethrower. Like, it doesn't really matter anymore. But throughout Prey, the mimics are always a threat because you genuinely never know where they are, and they're slippery, and they do a ton of damage. Never unfairly, but...
I think the splicers in BioShock were another good one because they were always coming at you like a bat out of hell.
Yeah. Well, they were just human enough that it was sort of like, ooh, something really happened here. His next question is least favorite enemy type. Flea men in the Castlevania series.
Yes, 100%.
Hands down. I know how to kill them. I know how to game the system. They're still gonna hit me.
Yep.
Just like the Medusa heads. I know it's a sine wave. They're gonna hit me every time.
Oh,
it's not the sine waves. Is the problem. It's the volume that's the problem.
Yeah. If it was just one of them, I'd have it. But I'm climbing a clock tower, and there's 30 of those things in here.
I'm tired of zombies.
You're tired of what, sir?
Zombies.
Yeah, I feel like we're hitting the zombie peak again.
Yeah, I don't understand why it came back in the first place, to be honest. Oh, wait, yes, I do. The Last of Us. Ugh.
No, I think it was Call of Duty Zombies mode.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I think it might have been that, where it's like, yeah, you know, here's a horde mode. What else are we gonna fight? Zombies? As Abraham Lincoln? Why not?
True. I'm trying to remember which ones it is, but there's 2 enemies in Isaac that hit me every single time I see them, no matter how many times I see them. The greed heads tend to be one of them, the jumpy greed heads. Every single time they will get me without fail. And there's another one, but I can't figure out which one it is right now. It serves me right for not doing my daily beforehand.
Yeah. I feel like this is a hard question because so many enemies in games are just sort of fodder.
Yeah. Yep.
Or they're like, I'm fighting rats in an RPG. You know, like...
Quite literally in some cases.
Yeah. His last question here is favorite boss. I feel like that's kind of hard. Every Metal Gear Solid boss?
Yeah,
Except
that's
for the
a good
helicopter?
call. Even the helicopter's great.
I would almost think one of my favorite Metal Gear Solid bosses is actually in 4. It's the Sniper Wolf Redux, basically, where you're in the snowfield and that one of the beasts has the sniper rifle. I really like that one because everyone's gonna say like, "Oh, the end," or you know, Sniper Wolf, or Behind D.
I think if you've got a connection to Metal Gear Solid, the best Metal Gear Solid boss fight is the one on top of the submarine with Liquid. Yeah. Where it goes through all of the different Metal Gear games, including music, heads-up display, everything else like that.
Punch the crap out of him. Yeah. And then you kiss.
I'm going to say the Guardian from the pre-sequel. Probably one of my most favorite boss fights I've had in a long time.
Well, in redeeming a lot of Borderlands 1 and 2 final bosses, where it's like, oh, that's it? That sucked. That was not as good as the last boss. 2 had an okay final boss, but not that great.
No, that I forgot what they called it in that one. Or was that the Guardian? What was the one then? The Sentinel. It's the Sentinel in pre-sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Guardian in 2.
Guardian 2.
Pre-sequel had a lot of good bosses.
Yeah, man, that was one of my favorite fights because you fight it when it's a normal human-sized thing. You're like, oh, good, I'm glad. Oh, what? It's huge now. What?
Oh, actually, speaking of Borderlands, I'm not going to spoil it because I know a lot of people, including Moonpier, hasn't played it. But the Vault boss in Tales from the Borderlands, not only because
man, that's a great one.
Not only because it's cool, but because of how you fight it, especially in an adventure game, is pretty incredible. I'm trying to think if there's any really good Final Fantasy bosses. Maybe Exdeath from Final Fantasy V, because he's a giant tree. You fight a giant tree.
True. Beating any of the weapons in 7 is pretty good.
Those are good bosses, yeah. As secret bosses go, those are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Miniac from Saints Row 4, that ended up being a good time.
Yeah. Those are really...
Most of the bosses from Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Oh,
actually,
geez,
yes.
I cannot believe I forgot. That even slipped over my radar.
Especially, like, I know a lot of people hate it, but I kind of liked fighting that bone dragon where you're kind of climbing through and up and around it.
Oh, yeah.
That was a cool fight. That was a lot of cool boss fights.
Even the last fight against Satan or Lucifer, whatever they were calling him, the Dark One.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. was... I really liked that fight a lot, especially when you pounded him into the ground and he kind of crawls back up out of that hole you just stuffed him in.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was a cool game.
That was such a good game.
I'm surprised they haven't done a 1 and 2 remake set of those.
It's Konami, though.
I don't know how they made half of a fun game.
In the second one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Half of that game was awesome.
You just needed to make another one. That's it. You already had the formula down. That'd be like if God of War 2 was an RTS. It's like, no, man, you already figured it out. Just do it again. And then stop doing it after a little bit. I guess God of War, some of those intro bosses for most of the games were good. The Hydra, the Colossus.
The Colossus was a great fight. Same thing with, oh my god. I cannot remember his name now. The water one. Poseidon. Poseidon was probably their best fight ever. The only one that was close to that was Hades.
Yeah. Man.
How could fighting Zeus be disappointing in that game? Like, 3 times it was disappointing.
Yeah.
3 times Zeus is a lady.
I would actually say the first boss in Nier Automata, because every time you fight it, it's vastly different because of how the game presents it. So you're sort of piecing together the fight over like 3 playthroughs.
Over 3 points of view, actually. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a cool idea.
I honestly can't think of too many. That's the problem I'm running into is like, I mean, immediately I think, Gears of War and General Ram is not a good boss, but the Berserker is a fantastic boss.
That's a great boss fight.
It is. Oh my god, the Locust Queen. What the heck was her name?
Queen Mira.
Queen Mira. Yeah. That fight at 3 might be one of the most satisfying things I have ever played.
Yeah.
I think it was that hard, but man,
I like
gorgeous.
The Berserk example because Gears never did it again, but that wasn't you're avoiding that boss for a good amount of time until you can get outside, and it's genuinely intense because there's no way you can kill her until you let her, bang around that place until you're free.
Yep, and then you get possibly one of the best weapons in that game, in the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, just roaster. Man, that was cool.
That was a good one. So what a great set piece with the big the dune worm that you get eaten by.
I forgot about that. That was cool.
Level.
The grossest level in video game history. Thank you, Gears 2.
I hated it. Watch Carmine melt away again.
Yeah. A lot of cool stuff in the Gears games. There's another game I'm surprised they haven't redone 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep pumping that cash cow, man. 2 was good.
2 was good. I thought 3 was great.
Yeah, 3 was really good. Actually, 4 was really good too. They're all good.
I really enjoyed 4.
Yeah.
I think they messed up by having it only 2-player co-op, but
yeah,
whatever.
that's a bummer.
Definitely.
I think my last one, real quick, is Final Fantasy Tactics. A lot of the Zodiac Beast bosses. They had this cool thing where normal enemies you're fighting against would suddenly turn into horrible monsters and become incredibly different and difficult boss fights. I like when RPGs do that, where it's like, yeah, you thought we were gonna fight me, but now I'm a giant demon. See you later.
Wait, hold on. That giant thing from the demo in Painkiller.
Oh yeah, that boss.
What an awesome boss! And I would even have to say the Lucifer fight at the end of the first Painkiller game.
Yeah,
probably one of my most favorite levels. Because
yeah.
you're fighting through the history of war, and you're transporting between like this weird hellscape and then this Shadow Realm hellscape.
Mm-hmm.
But you like Lucifer's attacking you in regular hellscape, but you can't see him until you're in Shadow Realm hellscape. It's the only time you can fight him.
That was cool. Ghost Underground sends over a lot of questions, so let's try and make it through as many as we can. What is the best game you've played with the most disappointing ending?
God of War insert number here.
Anything? God of War over 2? 3 was...
Actually, you know what? I tell you what. 1 was legitimately a great game, top to bottom.
It were sort of looped back on itself, and it's like, that's why. Okay, yeah.
2, one of the almost disappointing because you're going to where you want that game to end. It stops short.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. 3 can go F itself.
Yeah, that was just a sort of like, that's okay. That was an interesting boss. Credits. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of people
Fantasy
would. What was that, sir?
Final Fantasy VIII.
Disappointing ending, really?
I love that game to high heaven. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game. The last 3 hours of that game, I hate.
I love that final dungeon.
I hate it.
I wonder if you'd feel differently now going back and playing through it, because it's not... Final Fantasy VIII was way ahead of its time in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. It was.
And going through the final dungeon, regaining your abilities was pretty interesting. Story-wise, kind of fell on its face. Best game you played with the most disappointing ending. I'm trying to think. I feel like most of the time, by the time I get to the end of a lot of these games, I'm sort of not that angry at it. A lot of people would probably say, what was it, Halo 2 was the plant monster cliffhanger
the
one?
Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've played another game that's that bad. Crackdown 1 and 2 both had good endings. Crackdown 1 had a great ending.
Yeah, Crackdown 1 ending was probably one of my favorites of all time.
I'm the bad guy. Oh.
Yep. Syndicate. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, let me correct myself there.
Yeah.
I love the ending to Syndicate. I hated the ending to Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
That last boss fight didn't do it a lot of help.
Oh man.
Assassin's Creed games, most of those have had actually pretty good endings ever since the Isn't That Right, Desmond? And I was just like, that's me. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Destiny 1 Vanilla? There we go. Game with the most disappointing ending. Vanilla Destiny 1, where it's like, I finally do it. I got it's over.
Here's a gun that you are already too powerful to use.
Yeah, exactly. I fought a bunch of statues, and the stranger gave me a gun and then materialized, and then it's over? Yeah. That would probably be my vote. I can't think of anything else. Oh, BioShock 1?
Oh.
That's
only
sort
got
of
a disappointing ending because of the boss.
That just petered out over the last 3 hours.
Well, man, because it peaked too early.
Yep.
If that had ended at the Ryan scene and rolled credits, you'd have been like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yep. And even the endings themselves were pretty short. They're like a 10-second cutscene. It's sort of like, oh, I saved all the little sisters for this. A bunch of people putting their hands on my hand. That's okay. Question number 2. What is a game that you originally overlooked, maybe due to reviews or word of mouth, but really enjoyed after playing it? Parenthetically, hey, Mafia 3 is pretty great.
Yeah, we own that. I still need to start it.
No. I wanted to say GTA 5, but Knobs jumped in that day one and sort of we thought was going to take it on the chin for all of us and was like, hey, actually this one's really good. This is the one to play.
Which was shocking because we bounced off of 4 so hard. We wanted to like that game so much, and it just it just kept punching you in the teeth the whole way. But the way they handled, and I keep telling people, like, GTA 5 is where it's at. It's not GTA. It's a heist game.
Yeah. I feel like I've played something this year that's like
I've got 3. Watch Dogs I stayed away from for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I absolutely adore that game. I think it's wrongly maligned a lot because it was the Ubisoft used it to do this is the next generation.
The iconic hat.
Yes.
It had a lot
speaking of special
problems.
editions.
Yeah.
2 games I absolutely despised when I first played them and changed my mind when I give them a bit more time, shockingly enough. Borderlands. I bounced straight off that and didn't play it for years.
Yeah, pre-sequel probably for me.
Yeah,
I played it
and
and I was like,
pre-sequel.
this First Planet is garbage. And later I was like, oh, actually it's the best Borderlands game. I was wrong.
The original Mass Effect. I didn't give that the time of day. I think the funny thing for me with the original Mass Effect is that I picked it up day one because I was so hyped. I played it for about 6 hours, got angry, and then didn't touch it again until the January that Mass Effect 2 came out, when I powered through Mass Effect 1 and basically beat the game in time to play 2.
And Mass Effect 1 intro is rough.
My last example of a game I avoided because it was quote-unquote multiplayer focused and I didn't really have anyone to play with at the time. Left 4 Dead 1.
Oh man, Left 4 Dead 1 was great.
And I avoided it really badly because I didn't really have anyone to play with at the time.
And the AI is not great. Not really a good single-player game.
No, not really.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's some stuff lately that I've played that's sort of been out of genres that I usually like, that I've enjoyed, but I'm sort of drawing a blank.
What about, Prey you didn't really bounce off of. That one kind of sucked everybody in right from the get-go.
Yeah.
That was another one I was jumping off the deep end on, because I didn't know anything about what that game was.
Yeah. I feel like there's been a Game Club game this year where I've sort of been like, oh, this is actually good. I'm surprised, but I can't remember.
The one we're currently doing?
Well, yeah, This Is the Police is definitely an example of a game I thought was not for me, and it's 100% for me.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. A lot of...
Oh, Abzu I was about ready to bounce off of. I didn't think I was going to finish that.
Yeah. For like a 2-hour game that has a slow intro. Man, I'll if I think of anything, we'll come back to this one, but I'm really drawing a blank on that one. Similarly, what's a game that you picked up day one but should have waited, either waiting for patches or never got a chance to touch it until after it went off sale / dropped in price? Yes, Moon?
So pretty much Moon's catalog?
Yes. I'm laughing because I currently have 211 games installed on my Xbox One, and I'm in the middle of playing about 4 of them.
Change directory to Xbox One, star.
Alien Isolation, I've played for an hour. I got that game. I think we got it on sale.
Is that the Randy Pitchford one or the good one?
That's the good one. Okay. It's the survival horror one.
Okay.
Dying Light, I've put about 6 hours into. We have the full gold edition of that game, and I've had that installed for almost 3 years now. Syndicate, I had installed for years before I actually played it, but we bought it day one. Origins I've done the same with now. We'll see how that goes for future episodes. I've got so many games installed. I've got Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2 installed. I really want to play that with somebody because I don't want to be sitting here by myself trying to convince other people to play it with me.
Right.
It's Halo Master Chief's Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like for me, the big one lately was Witcher 3. I bought it when it came out, and I was like, this game's going to be great. It sort of wasn't when it launched, and they put a ton of work in to like fix the controls and fix the performance, and the console version, obviously. And then when I went back to it later, I was like, okay. Now I got it. They fixed it, and now I finally clicked with it. All right, now we're good. 100 hours.
Speaking of games I have installed.
Yeah, you should play that. It's good. It's really good.
I would say Neo I bounced off of pretty hard.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst I bounced off of.
Yeah, I'm surprised I stuck with that one. That one has some real BS at the beginning of that game.
Yep.
Yeah, you stick through that one, but just you can't finish Doom.
Yeah,
I know.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's weird.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Maybe I should play Doom instead.
That's like 4 times you've said that so far this episode.
Like, when we're recording this show, I have recently finished This Is the Police, and I kind of don't want to play anything else. Like, not that I'm really burned out, I just look at everything I have and I go, that's fine. Sure.
It's not a game which someone clearly injected my DNA into.
Yeah, well, Doom sort of is.
Well, yeah.
My 90s DNA. Gross. Yeah, what else? I'm trying to think. Not a lot. I feel like not a lot of games this generation have, I guess, Destiny 1, again. Picked that up day one and should have waited for the collection that just came out a couple months ago.
Me too.
That's Diablo.
Oh, Diablo, yeah. I think
I bought the console version of that twice.
Yeah, I sort of feel like both you and I, Knobs, when Diablo 3 came out on PC, we're like, all right, let's do it. And we started it, and we're like, nope. This,
yes.
no, thank you. And they came out on console, and we're like, there it is. All right, they fixed it.
Yes.
Got it.
They just had that peripheral in it. Oh, a controller makes all the difference.
So funny. Actually, read Jason Schreier's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels for some really interesting background development on the console version and how that influenced them fixing the PC version. It's a good story. Pick 3 universes, books, games, TV/movies to combine. What genre and style would you pick?
Ooh.
Jesus.
All right. I kind of like. All right. So genre, Western.
Okay.
Universe, space. I like space cowboys.
Gotcha.
And then what would be the third thing? The property?
Yeah, like 3. Pick a universe. He's saying, like, pick 3 universes to combine, and then what genre and style would you pick?
Oh, gotta throw ninjas in there, too. All right, so I pretty much described Gungrave. Damn it.
I think you're sort of describing Trigun.
Pretty much.
I'm trying to think of what I would combine. I feel like it would have to be... I'd have to take some sort of RPG.
Yeah.
Let's make a survival horror game out of the stubby androids from Nier Automata.
That would be amazing.
That would be really weird and sort of terrifying. Because I'm thinking of Dead Space a lot lately. If you can make a game like that.
What about a survival horror RPG set in a John Hughes movie?
Ooh. Interesting.
That would be bizarre.
I would like to see a survival horror RPG. Just in general. Like, how would you make that? That'd be cool.
It would almost be like that. Be like Fallout.
Yeah. I mean, big thing for me is I want to see someone do something like the Elite Dangerous model in an existing universe. Like, I am a huge fan of the Dune series. That's Dune. Let me spell it out loud because my pronunciation is iffy sometimes.
Right.
I am a huge... Yes, Captain, sometimes my pronunciation's a little hard to understand, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just a little sticky wicket trying to get you what I'm saying.
Slow your roll in.
But no, I'm a huge fan of those books. And I'd love to see someone take something like that and throw it in like the Elite Dangerous engine, have a full open universe where people can fly space around, and then all of a sudden the chat is just full of people saying the spice must flow.
Right. One thing, this might not be answering his question, but now that I'm thinking about it, I sort of can't let it go. I sort of want someone to make a Borderlands SRPG.
Oh, that would actually
just
be
Final
really
Fantasy
good.
Tactics Borderlands.
XCOM Borderlands.
Sure, yeah. Like, I think that would be cool. I think you could lend. I think that universe in the gameplay could lend itself to a strategy RPG pretty directly. I think that's sort of what they started to try to do with the mobile game, but it was so bad that no one played it. Yeah. He asks, after the success of the Witcher games, what's a book series that you'd like a games or a book series for?
Dune. Dune.
No, like a new one.
A new one. The Wheel of Time series.
No, like what game that doesn't have a book series would you like a book series for?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the opposite.
Oh, the opposite.
I would read a Nier Automata book. That would be sad but interesting.
Oh man, I would think that would get preachy.
Oh, yeah, maybe. You'd have to have a pretty gentle hand with it.
It would be like 20 pages of Outlaw Star. What is thy desire? Over and over and over again.
Forgot about Alostar.
I would take that outside and shoot it with my caster gun.
Yeah.
Technically not books, but I'd love to see like the creators of some wacky manga take a swing at any of the Final Fantasy games. Not the main characters in those games, but the side characters.
Right.
Like, show me what the four guys who go on the road trip in the new one. Show me what their significant others or sisters or cousins are doing while they're doing that.
Right.
And what wacky adventures they get into without a vehicle.
Final Fantasy 15 Gaiden.
Yes.
Yeah. like blue. Like the what? Like all right, there you go. Ninja Gaiden. Like what is going on with the Black Turtle Clan? Like what are they doing?
Right.
Or the Black Spider Clan.
Right.
Like it's like them centric. While they have like Ryu Hayabusa just wrecking through everything.
Yeah.
Or kind of like how they handled it in Doom. Like in Doom, Hell has its own mythology about the Doom Soldier.
That's fantastic. That's probably my favorite thing in that game is hearing all of that stuff.
Hearing the lore from the demon side, how you're the bad guy. You're the jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'd like that because that's what I liked. That's what I've really been liking about Middle Earth, Shadow of War, is all this ancillary knowledge of all the things surrounding around the Lord of the Rings like mythos, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question number 6: what's the tastiest looking animated food? I think anything
steaks.
Vanillaware has made has the tastiest looking food.
Oh man, all right. So I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna say the pizza from Invader Zim is the most delicious looking animated
the
pizza.
Gooeyest.
Just the lippy, smacky noises of that cheese.
Yeah.
For me, there's nothing quite as delicious looking as a perfectly roasted Monster Hunter piece of meat. Because you get to do the fire thing, you get to listen to the quirky little music as he cooks it, and then he holds it up in the air like it's a sword, and he's like, "It's perfect!"
Yeah.
And it's all browned and roasted and steaming.
That's a good choice.
Pork bun! Get your pork bun!
Now I'm thinking about Dragon's Crown in 4K and how good that food's going to look. But what's that? That was number 6. Number 7. What's the longest time you spent between putting down a game and finally finishing it, not starting a new save? And what games? Oh boy.
The Witcher 2. I still haven't picked it back up.
Well, I mean, you have to have finished it though.
Oh, come on. Mass Effect 1, almost, what was it, 2 years between that one coming out and then the second one?
That's a good one, yeah.
I would say probably the first Sin game.
Oh, yeah?
Because it was a good 2, maybe 3 years before that patch fixed that game.
Yeah, like all the patches were out and it was actually done.
It crashed every time I was in that mansion. Every time.
Yeah.
And I think I finally finished that when I was in college. I think that game was circa 1998. And I think I finished it maybe 2002.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I think so. Once we finally got like access to a T1, we can download the whole thing.
Yeah. The kids don't have to worry about that now.
I feel like there's a launch 360 RPG maybe that I started when the console
Blue Dragon?
came out. Yeah, maybe it was Blue Dragon. I finished that, I think. That one took a while. Also, maybe Enchanted Arms.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
I might have started that one, and I was sort of like, this is weird, and then like a year later, I'm bored. Let's play Enchanted Arms. Maybe it wasn't worth it.
No, it wasn't. It was not worth it, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. I was having that conversation the other day with one of my coworkers about Gun Valkyrie, and I was trying to explain to him what the motion controls were.
Yeah.
And like how you maneuver the character. I was like, all right, there's got to be a video of someone. No one on the internet knows how to play that game.
Oh, really?
Every video I saw, I was like, this doesn't do this game justice. You don't like. They're always in the air. He's like, well, this dude just floating here. Like, I don't know what. Like, this looks horrible. I was like, you have so much action.
They're
like,
making it look horrible.
Like, I don't see. Like, dude, trust me, this game's great.
Yeah. Question number 8. The top of your pile of shame that you know you'll finish / play one day but haven't.
Witcher 3.
Mass Effect Andromeda? I started that, though. I don't know if that counts. I haven't started the first Wolfenstein. So I know I'll play that someday.
I don't know how much more I can champion that game.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time.
2/3 TVGP demands Boston plays Doom in time for Game of the Year.
It is. Like, guess what Game Club game's going to be next week? That's the only way. You've left us no choice.
Forcing our hand. God, is there anything else beyond that? I'm trying to think what other games I have. I have like Recore for Xbox One, but that's not really a necessity. That's like a rainy day game.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I might have to wait for an Xbox One X to just fix the load times on that thing.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited for Titanfall to get back up and running so I can actually play some multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm trying to think of games that are out. Because all these games that are coming out, of course, we're excited to play them. But
right. I mean, right now, the South Park game. I don't know. Did you pick that one up too?
The South Park?
The South Park.
Fractured Butthole.
No, I'm talking about Stick of Truth. Did you get Boston? Did you play that one?
Oh yeah. We both played that on 360.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you played that.
Yeah. No, I played that on PC. That was weird. That was in my old house when I had like a 15-foot HDMI cable stretching between my computer and my TV. Yeah. Yeah, I did play that. That was a good game. That's an Obsidian game, for better or for worse.
Yes. Yep. I mean, my problem is my pile of shame is so big at this point. Like, I look at what's installed on my Xbox and I think, oh, what am I going to play? Not even what's ready to install, which includes another like 200 games.
Oh, Wolf Among Us. I've installed that thing 7 times.
Dude.
I have finished the first episode of that.
7 times I've installed that game and played the first 30 seconds. I'm like, nope. I don't want to think right now. Nope.
I played the first episode of that on 360 and really liked it. and bought the season pass, and then bought it again on PS4 thinking, oh, well, I'll just pop in the disc. I can just play it. Of course I haven't. Why would I? It's only
and
like
you
4
guys
hours
give
long.
me flack about not playing Tales.
Tales is better, though.
Tales is a brilliant game.
Tales is one of my favorite games of all time.
And it's a property that we love.
Yeah.
True.
In the best way possible.
Moon,
I'm so excited. I might play it again tonight.
There you go. Moon, I feel like you need like a digital grab bag of just reach your hand into this bag of titles, just pull one out, and you have to play it.
Yeah, that's exactly why there is a vote going on for future games. I'm actually going to do that for my backlog as well. I'm going to just take 4 games which I want to really badly play, but always skip past them in the scrolling down the games list screen.
The 30 minutes it takes you to scroll.
Yeah.
I've only got a month left to finish Halo. Damn it.
Uh-oh. All right, we're starting to run out of time here, so let's finish up Ghost Underground's email questions, and then we'll call this a day. What games have you purchased just to support the staff, artist, music director, or so on?
Anything that says Arc System works.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to find the time to play a fighting game nowadays, but I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Mass Effect Andromeda, because I wanted them to know day one I'm interested in Mass Effect, no matter what people are saying. Great deal of good that did.
Oh my god, this is the Ghostbusters argument the whole time, is since everyone complained about this so much, we are never getting another one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Internet. You ruined everything.
Thanks, people.
In that case, I'll be honest, it probably doesn't also help, but it was BioWare/EA who have, since thanks to Mass Effect 3, they bundled that ending, and they now have a history of bowing down to demands from a wide populace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
Binding of Isaac.
No, that's a game I enjoy, though.
What about a Binding of an Isaac novel? There you go.
Oh,
that would be dark. Yikes.
Well, that's the
illustrated by Jonan Vasquez.
Go on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I do this a bunch with indie games.
Yeah.
Where it's like a small studio, and if I haven't kickstarted it, it's one of those things that comes out and it's sort of... I would have done that with like Battle Chasers and Night War if I hadn't kickstarted it. It's like, it's $20. Like, you guys are a small team. You've got 5-10 people working for you. Here's my $20.
Yeah.
It can make a difference.
My tendency to do that is with game preview stuff. Like Elite Dangerous was one of the original Xbox One game preview stuff, and I played it for the whatever it was hour that I had.
Right.
Immediately bought it. I did the same thing with Astroneer, although I haven't actually played Astroneer yet. I just wanted to support that kind of development team. Like, I tend to go in, try out a little demo, and then buy it just to help them edge it along.
Right.
I refuse to help people like Star Citizen.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to tell you what. The Souls games.
Yeah,
I bought every one, and I have no intention of ever playing any of them.
Yep.
I did my part. Same thing with Xenogear Saga. Xenogear?
Xenoblade Chronicles?
That's it.
Yeah. That was a good game that is way too long for its own good.
That's sealed on my shelf.
Well, that's still worth a lot, so good on you. All right, 2 more questions. Any guilty pleasure games that you know aren't very good, but they have a soft spot in your heart?
Hannah Montana, the movie, the game.
Wow, you had that ready to go. Holy hell. You're going to have to explain that one, dude.
Okay, I'm going to have to explain it. It's very, very simple. It's an average game. It's completely mediocre in every single way. People have got to understand that this game came out at a time when movie license games were a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
I was dating someone at the time who had kids. I ended up watching Hannah Montana, the movie, over and over and over and over again. I ended up playing the game. It is the exact same plot, the exact same structure, the exact same flow as the movie. It is a licensed game done correctly to a target market.
Okay. I can respect that.
Also, Disney's Bolt. But that's just because that's an amazing character action game that doesn't get the credit it deserves.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Sneak King.
Sneak King is so good, but it's a bad game.
I have it. I've never played it.
It's not good, but
it's genuinely a 20-minute game.
It is amazing for every reason, but it's so weird.
It's
so weird.
Face
it's
of his.
Awesome.
Popping out of a trash can.
Popping out of trash and flourish. There's a Whopper, and I'm like,
because like the other games, the kart racing game wasn't very good. It was really hard to control. I don't remember what the third game was. There were 3 games. I don't remember what the third one is.
I don't remember what the third one was either. Now
I have it in.
I
box
have
somewhere.
them.
Yeah, but Sneak King was not a great game, but still pretty good.
But it was awesome.
I feel like the 360 was really good for some of that stuff for us. PS2 had a lot of good stuff, and PS1 had a lot of good stuff, but like, I feel like there were a bunch of games on 360 where it's like, look, this isn't very good, but I had a lot of fun playing it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say some of like the most bottom barrel games that I would love was games like Hexic.
Yeah.
Like just...
Oh, Puzzle Arcade. Shall we talk about that one?
Oh, good God.
Yeah, but Puzzle Arcade's a really well-designed game.
Yeah, that's equally as amazing as what Williams' Collection was.
Yeah.
Like, it was done so right.
I feel like we haven't yet mentioned Alpha Protocol, even though I feel like that's sort of unspoken, but that's not a game that's done or playable for a bunch during the intro, but I'll be damned if it's not really good.
Yeah, I really need to play Tropico 3 just to make my wife play that game.
El Presidente.
Tropico 3 is really good.
I know, but her challenges get all of the achievements, and then she'll play Alpha Protocol.
Why do that? It's like, hey man, Godzilla's gonna come. You need to raise 2 million pounds of bananas in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
No. No, I'm good. I can barely keep this island running. Godzilla can just... I'm going to take a chopper out of here. Godzilla, I can have it. Man. And last but not least, what is the most surprising gem you picked up without seeing any info on it beforehand? I think for me it's Guilty Gear X. I saw that in an EB Games at the Mentor Mall, and I picked it up and I was like, this looks like an anime fighting game. Let's try it out. And it's really good.
Boy, did that start something special.
Yeah.
Mine's probably going to be DOA 2 for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I had never seen DOA in the arcades. I have never seen anything other than this, but I was real tired of playing Soul Calibur. I was like, this looks cool. Then I played it, and then I bounced off of it hard.
DOA 2 was not a friendly game.
Because I did, I kept getting, like, that arcade run, like, that getting and fighting Tenchu was just a nightmare. And even getting there was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I accidentally did a counter, and I'm like, wait, what? What did I do? Went in there, learned all the moves. I'm like, okay. Went in, and then just started rolling that game.
Yeah.
And it became probably one of my most favorite series of all time.
I think also for the Dreamcast was Metropolis Street Racer.
Oh, good God. How did I forget about that?
Picking that up, I think all of us was like, yeah, I need something to play on my Dreamcast, and it's a racer. And it's like, wait a minute, this is actually fantastic.
Not just fantastic, but it had that gimmick where it had real-time clock all over the world. So, but it was weird because you're always playing at the same time at night, so you're always playing the same level.
Tokyo is always during the day.
Yeah, Tokyo's always during the day, and London it's kind of dusk, and it's always dark where we're racing. But the thing about it was that AI in that game was brutal, but not cheap.
Yeah, it never hit you in that right spot in the back bumper like games would during the day, and it was always fair.
It did ruffle some panelings because they were always touching you.
Yeah. Well,
only game I remember being legitimately brake checked by a computer player.
Yeah. Man, what else?
I've got well, 2. Advance Wars, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Picked it up on a complete whim. Turns out it was one of the greatest RTS games I've ever played.
That's such a good game.
Or not RTS games, I should say.
Yeah, it's an RTS. Well, no, it's a turn-based.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Pro Evolution Soccer, I can't remember what year it was, but I was fed up of FIFA, and I decided to pick up Pro Evolution Soccer to give it a chance, because FIFA was getting... Stop me if you've heard this before. FIFA was getting the yearly releases with basically 0 updates except for a roster.
Right.
And this was in 1997.
Yeah.
Like, 97 was ridiculous.
I think the people I think the thing that people need to remember too is a lot of these purchases were done before games were saturated on the internet. We had the internet forever, but not a lot of times would you see a dead or alive community. Like, there was no DOA subreddit you could go onto and watch gameplay videos. Like, YouTube didn't exist. Videos didn't exist on the internet. GIFs were still way too big. So, like, when you're going into a store, if it wasn't an EGM and got a really great review, you might not know about it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I ended up doing with Pro Evo, because a group of my friends all loved FIFA, and I basically turned them all into Pro Evolution fans.
Yeah.
Because they would challenge me to play FIFA, and then I would challenge them to play Pro Evolution Soccer, and it became a slow realization of, oh wow, this game is actually a lot better than FIFA. And in general, that was the gist that the soccer playing populace had at the time, was FIFA was going downhill and Pro Evo was going uphill.
Yeah.
See, I feel that was our cross to bear, that we kept pushing the gospel of Project Gotham Racing to everybody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was not Gran Turismo.
Yeah, and like Forza hadn't yet come out, so I feel like PGR was one of the few games that sat in the middle there, where it's not Cruisin' USA, and it isn't, Gran Turismo. It's this middle game where you don't. It's neither one of them. It's just kind of, it's a moderate racer. It's not not a sim, and it certainly isn't an arcade game. But I think the market. It took the market forever to get to the point where I think it was until like Forza 2 or 3 before people were like, "Oh, it's not a sim." Okay, gotcha. I figured it out now. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, but the bummer was, I mean, the saddest thing I have about racing games, which probably haven't played one in a long time, is there's no kudos. The kudo system.
Yep, and thankfully Forza brought that back with Forza Horizon, and now it's to the point with like Forza Horizon 3 where it's like
it doesn't stop. It's constantly on your screen.
It's so good. What they do is something that I don't think they ever did in PGR, where the bigger the number is, the more it shakes on screen. So I'm sort of like, I can't lose it. Oh, God. And then once you see like 250,000 come up, you're just like, oh, thank God. Oh, I didn't waste it.
Yeah, but I thought PGR did the thing where it would start real small and it would get a little bigger, and then it would turn gold, or it called bronze, silver, then gold.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that Forza Horizon does, it doesn't do that, but it starts multiplying. So like the more cool stuff you get, it's like 15,000 times 2, and you do a cool air jump. Now it's like times 4.5, and you're like, oh God. Plus it added another 20,000 points. It's like, oh God.
Doesn't it shift from white to orange as well? Like the color starts white, and then it slowly gradients into orange.
Yeah, also, it turns into gold eventually.
Smart money is on multi-text from Donnie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, go. Nas, maybe you should try out Forza Horizon 3.
Full retail. Yeah.
Forza Horizon 3 sounds like it might be right up your alley, especially with the Hot Wheels DLC, which is really good.
Yeah, I've been hovering over the buy button for a while for that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. We all appreciate it. You know what the outro is this week, and I'm sort of out of time, so find us on tvgp.tv and everywhere else, and we will see you next week for a regular episode. Until then, goodbye.
Laters.
Bye.
And we're done with the video. Bye, everyone. See ya.